Every morning when you open your eyes, something powerful begins. Not the noise of the world, not yet, but the first voice you hear, the one that speaks before your feet even touch the ground. That voice is yours. And whether you realize it or not, it is shaping your entire life. Your inner voice is not background noise. It is the scriptwriter of your future. It is the architect of your beliefs. And what you say to yourself when no one else is listening becomes the blueprint for what you build in the world. If you wake up and speak doubt, you build limitation. If you speak fear, you build hesitation. But if you speak belief, if you speak purpose, then you build momentum, you build movement, you build mastery. Let me ask you something most people never consider. What kind of voice lives inside your mind? Is it a critic, a skeptic, a fearful whisper reminding you of everything that could go wrong? Or is it a guide, a mentor, a powerful ally lifting you up when the world tries to weigh you down? Because here's the truth. Most people don't stay stuck because they lack discipline or drive. They stay stuck because their inner voice has been hijacked by fear. They're walking through life with an inner enemy instead of an inner coach. But over the next 3 days, that can change. Starting now, you're going to retrain the most powerful force you have, your self-talk. You're going to teach your inner voice to speak strength, not weakness, to speak possibilities, not problems, to speak the truth of who you really are, not the lie of who the world tried to tell you to be. Your mind is both a garden and a battlefield. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed. Plant fear and you grow hesitation. Plant criticism and you grow shame. But plant belief and you grow confidence. Plant encouragement and you grow resilience. Plant vision and you grow direction. And that garden, that inner landscape, it doesn't just stay inside you. It shows up in your choices, your habits, your energy, your relationships, your entire life. So for the next 3 days, here's your first mission. Speak to yourself like someone who is going to win. Don't wait to feel confident. Speak it until your nervous system starts to believe it. Don't wait for the world to approve you. Approve yourself and let the world catch up later. Don't whisper your affirmations like apologies. Declare them like truth. Say it out loud. I am capable. I am worthy. I am becoming exactly who I was born to be. And when fear shows up, and it will, don't run from it. Look it in the eye and say, I hear you, but I don't follow you. I am led by strength, not by fear. This is not about pretending life is easy. It's about deciding that even when life is hard, you will still rise. You will still move. You will still speak power into your soul. The world around you responds not to who you are, but to who you believe yourself to be. So if you want different results, speak a different identity. Speak like a leader. Speak like a creator. Speak like a person who expects greatness and is willing to meet it halfway. And remember this, every time you choose to speak belief instead of doubt, you build a new future. Every time you talk to yourself like a friend instead of a foe, you change the trajectory of your life. Your voice is not small, it is not meaningless. It is the first spark of your power. And the person who masters their inner voice masters everything. Now that you've begun shaping your inner voice, it's time to give it direction. Because belief without vision is like a car with no destination. It moves, but it doesn't arrive. Clarity is power. It's the difference between running in circles and walking in purpose. It's the difference between hoping something happens and making it happen. Most people stay stuck, not because they're lazy, but because they're vague. They say, I want success, but they can't describe what that looks like. They say, I want freedom, but they never define what freedom means to them. So they drift, they chase shadows, they end up exhausted without ever really moving forward. But you're going to be different. You're going to take the wheel and define where you're going, down to the detail. Right now, ask yourself 3 simple, yet life-altering questions. 1, where do I want to go? 2, what do I want to accomplish? 3, what impact do I want to leave behind? Don't just think about the answers. Write them, speak them, visualize them. Because a goal you can't see clearly is a goal you will never reach. Let's make this practical. Picture your future self 3 years from now. Where are you living? What kind of work are you doing? Who are you helping? What does your daily life feel like? Be specific, be bold, be honest. Because when you describe your vision with detail, you give your mind a target. And the mind, once fixed on a definite goal, becomes a magnet for the people, resources, and opportunities needed to achieve it. This is how powerful you really are. When you are clear about what you want, the universe starts rearranging itself to support your clarity. Not because of magic, but because of focus. What you focus on expands, and what you define, you begin to move toward. So grab a notebook, a journal, the back of a receipt if you must, and write. Write not from fear, but from possibility. Not from limitation, but from desire. Let your words come from the version of you who already knows what they want. Describe your goals. Write your vision. Speak your purpose. Then, every morning for the next 3 days, read it out loud. Let it echo in your mind until it becomes your inner compass. Because vague goals produce vague results. But defined goals, they produce direction. They create action and they pull you forward. You don't need to know every step of the journey right now. You just need to see the destination and believe it's real. This is how every great achievement begins. Not with a roadmap, not with certainty, but with vision. When Henry Ford envisioned the assembly line, it didn't exist. When Walt Disney imagined an entire world built on stories, people laughed. When the Wright brothers believed in flight, the world believed in gravity. But they held the picture in their minds, and they moved anyway. So will you, because here's the truth. No one tells you. If you don't design your future, you will end up living someone else's. If you don't define your dream, the world will distract you from it. But when you know what you want and why you want it, you become unstoppable. So for the next 3 days, revisit your vision. Refine it, speak it, believe it. Let clarity become your anchor. Because when your mind knows where you're going, your steps become steady. Your choices become intentional, and your life begins to align. This is how purpose is born. This is how momentum begins. This is how success becomes inevitable. You now have the vision. But let me ask you, what happens when life doesn't go according to plan? Because it won't. Life will test your voice. Life will blur your vision. Life will throw storms at you just to see if you still want the dream after the rain starts. And this is where most people stop. They fall and stay down. They face resistance and retreat. They feel discomfort and assume it's a sign to quit. But not you. You are going to rise, not because it's easy, but because resilience is part of who you're becoming. Resilience is not just about surviving hardship. It's about transforming through it. It's the ability to say, this won't break me, it will build me. It's choosing to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as detours that still lead forward. Every challenge you face is not there to punish you. It's there to prepare you. Every obstacle is a teacher in disguise. And every no is training your character for the yes that's coming. For the next 3 days, I challenge you to shift your mindset. When something doesn't go your way, pause. Don't react. Reflect. Ask yourself, what is this moment here to teach me? How can I grow because of this, not in spite of it? And most importantly, What will I do now to rise higher? Because here's the truth. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not optimism. That's a warrior's mindset. That's resilience in its purest form. Resilience is a muscle, and you build it through action. Every time you keep going when it would be easier to give up, it grows stronger. Every time you show up when no one is clapping, you forge discipline. And every time you speak hope in the face of despair, you remind the world you're not done yet. Picture yourself as a mighty oak tree. The wind may bend your branches, but it will never break your roots. Why? Because your roots go deep into vision, into belief, into purpose. This is the secret most people miss. Resilience isn't about being hard. It's about being grounded. It's about being flexible enough to bend, but strong enough never to snap. And when things fall apart, you don't fall apart with them. You adapt, you learn, you rebuild, stronger, wiser, unshakable. Say this to yourself: this is not the end. This is my turning point. This pain has purpose. This challenge is my teacher. I am not afraid of failure. I am committed to growth. Let your inner voice be your coach, not your critic. Let it remind you that resilience isn't found in the moments when everything is going well. It's built in the moments when nothing makes sense, but you show up anyway. Over the next 3 days, life may not change overnight, but you will, your response will, your mindset will, and that changes everything. You're not here just to get by. You're here to grow, to evolve, to rise again and again and again until your breakthrough meets you on the road you refuse to quit. So stand up, speak life, and let every storm be proof that you are being refined, not defeated. This is the path of the resilient. This is the path of the unstoppable. There is a power inside you, and it's not loud, it doesn't shout, but when everything feels uncertain, it speaks. It says, keep going. You've got this. That power is belief, and not just belief in something out there, but belief in yourself. Because without it, nothing else matters. Without self-belief, even the clearest vision fades. Without self-belief, even the strongest voice cracks under pressure. But with it, you become unstoppable. Here's the truth. Self-belief isn't arrogance. It's not pretending you never fall. It's knowing that when you fall, you will rise again. And you must believe this. Not someday, not eventually, but now. You have talents you haven't discovered yet. You have strengths you haven't been forced to access. You have potential so deep it would scare you if you truly saw it. But most people never will. Not because they're not capable, but because they don't believe they are. Don't let that be you. You were not put on this earth to shrink. You were not made to live small, apologetic, or afraid of your own power. You are here to rise, to shine, to become who you were always meant to be. So for the next 3 days, this is your challenge. Speak to yourself like someone who believes, not hopes, believes. Start each morning with these words: I am more powerful and capable than I realize. My potential is limitless. I am not waiting. I am becoming. Say them out loud with conviction. And even if your voice shakes, speak them anyway, because that's how belief begins. Not with proof, but with decision. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Belief is a choice, and you get to make it every day. Think of the Wright brothers. They believed in flight when no one else did. They faced failure, ridicule, and rejection, but they kept going, not because they had guarantees, but because they had belief. That's the kind of belief you're building. Not a fragile, maybe if it works mindset, but a rock-solid, storm-tested foundation. And here's the beautiful thing. When you start believing in yourself, the world begins to believe in you too. Opportunities show up. People pay attention. Doors open. Because belief is magnetic. It draws in everything aligned with your highest self, but you must protect it. You must feed it. You must stand guard at the gate of your mind. Do not let fear speak louder than your purpose. Do not let old failures decide your future, and do not let the opinions of others write your story. You are the author, you are the narrator, and your story will rise as far as your belief takes it. So walk with purpose. Speak with calm certainty. Look in the mirror, not with judgment, but with pride. You've come far, you've grown strong, and you're only getting started. Even when doubt comes knocking, and it will, greet it with strength. Say, I see you, but I don't serve you. Say, this challenge won't stop me. It will sharpen me. Say, I am led by belief, not by fear. Let this be your truth for the next 3 days. You are not chasing potential. You are claiming it. You are not waiting to become. You are becoming. And belief, that's not just a mindset. It's your foundation. It's your fuel. It's your future, unfolding from the inside out. You've built belief. Now, it's time to fuel that belief with something deeper, something that sets your soul on fire. That fuel is passion. Passion is the silent force behind every extraordinary life. It's not about hype or noise. It's about alignment, energy, purpose. When you move with passion, you don't just work, you create. You don't just survive, you ignite. You don't chase, you attract. Most people walk through life numb, checking boxes, fulfilling expectations. They wake up tired, not because they worked hard, but because they're disconnected. Disconnected from the one thing that could transform everything. The thing that makes their eyes light up, their heart beat faster, and their time disappear. That thing is passion, and it's not a luxury. It's a calling. So let me ask you, what stirs your soul? What activity makes you lose track of time? What pursuit brings peace to your mind and purpose to your steps? These aren't idle questions. These are signposts. And if you follow them, they will lead you back to your fire, your gift, your path. Passion doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It lives in quiet moments when your heart says, This is what I was made to do. For the next 3 days, reconnect with that feeling. Block out the noise, turn inward. Ask yourself, what excites me? What brings me joy for no reason at all? What would I do even if no one paid me? Even if no one noticed? Then do it, even for 10 minutes a day. Even if it feels small, even if you don't know where it leads. Because passion, when pursued, expands. It unlocks energy you didn't know you had. It connects you with people, places, and opportunities that routine could never give you. Think of Michelangelo. Do you think he painted the Sistine Chapel out of obligation? Number, he was pulled by vision, consumed by passion. His gift wasn't just art, it was devotion. And that devotion is what created legacy. You don't have to be an artist, you just have to be alive. And passion is what makes you fully alive. Let it guide your choices. When you're unsure which path to take, ask, which one makes me feel more alive? That's usually the right one. Success built without passion is fragile. It crumbles under stress. But success built on passion, it's unshakable, sustainable, meaningful. And here's the beautiful part. Passion is contagious. When you speak from the heart, people listen. When you act from inspiration, others follow. When you live with purpose, your energy becomes magnetic. So for the next 3 days, schedule time for passion. Write, building mentor, cook, design, teach, explore. Whatever sparks something in you, do it. Not for applause, not for outcome, but for the sheer joy of expression. Share your excitement. Let people feel your fire. Because when you live passionately, you give others permission to do the same. And if you haven't found your passion yet, don't panic. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply still exploring. Passion often hides in curiosity. Follow the trail of what fascinates you. Your joy knows the way. Remember this: you weren't born to live a lukewarm life. You weren't created just to pay bills and be busy. You are here to create, to feel, to burn bright with purpose. So tend to that fire. Protect it from the winds of doubt. Feed it with time, with attention, with action, because your passion, it's not indulgent, it's sacred. And when you pursue it relentlessly, your life begins to move, to align, to lift. You've reignited passion. Now it's time to move. Because no matter how powerful your vision is, it means nothing until you act on it. Action is the great separator. It's what divides those who talk about their dreams from those who live them. And the truth is, your life won't change through thoughts alone. It changes the moment you do something. Every transformation begins with a step, not a perfect one, and not a dramatic one, but a deliberate one. And that's what most people miss. They wait, they overthink, they analyze and plan and prepare for the perfect moment. But here's what you need to hear. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And every second you delay, you feed hesitation instead of momentum. So for the next 3 days, you will become a person of action, not just intention, not just reflection, action. Because even the smallest step in the right direction moves you closer than standing still. Even an imperfect move teaches you more than months of over-planning. You want clarity? Move. You want confidence? Move. You want results? You guessed it, move. Walt Disney didn't start with a castle. He started with a sketch, one mouse, one vision, one stubborn step forward. And that one step became a legacy. Not because he waited until everything was certain, but because he started when it wasn't. That's your challenge now. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. You don't need a full plan. You need a first move. Write the first sentence. Make the first call. Record the first video. Take the first class. Send the first email. Create the first version, even if it's messy, because messy movement is better than perfect stillness. And momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. So here's what you'll do. Each day for the next 3 days, commit to one bold step, not someday. Today. Make a list, pick one, execute, and at the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to who I want to become? Let this become your ritual, your proof, because action repeated becomes identity, and identity shapes destiny. Here's what happens when you act. The path becomes clearer. Opportunities reveal themselves. People begin to notice, and most importantly, you begin to change. You see yourself differently. You start to trust yourself. You stop waiting and start becoming. Don't worry about mistakes. They're not signs to stop. They're signals to grow. Every stumble teaches you something. Every setback sharpens your approach. And if you ever feel afraid, good. That means you're moving towards something that matters. Fear is often the border between the life you have and the life you're meant to build. So walk through it with boldness, with urgency, with purpose. Because you can read all the books, you can set all the goals, but until you act, nothing changes. Action is how dreams become real. It's how beliefs become identity. It's how vision becomes legacy. So begin. Not later, not next week. Now take the first step. Then another. And before long, you won't be imagining the life you want, you'll be living it. Now that you've taken action, you're in motion. And motion without growth can only take you so far. To rise, to truly evolve, you must become a student of life. Because success isn't a destination, it's a process of becoming, and you become by learning. The most powerful minds on this planet, the inventors, the innovators, the leaders, they never stopped learning. They never believed they had arrived. They kept asking, seeking, growing, not because they weren't good enough, but because they knew they could always become more. Learning is your edge. Your secret weapon, your way of staying relevant, sharp, and deeply aware in a world that changes by the minute. It's not about collecting facts. It's about building wisdom. It's about knowing yourself, understanding others, and mastering the tools that elevate your life. For the next 3 days, make this your commitment. Grow your mind, feed your spirit, expand your world. Start by asking, what do I need to know to become the person I want to be? What don't I understand yet that's holding me back? Whose wisdom could guide me forward? Then go find it. Pick up a book, watch a lecture, listen to a podcast, study someone who's done what you want to do. And don't just consume, apply. Because knowledge without action is just clutter, but knowledge applied becomes transformation. Think of Abraham Lincoln, a man with minimal formal schooling, yet he read by candlelight. He taught himself law. He devoured every resource he could find. Why? Because he knew something most people never realize. Growth is your responsibility. It's not up to a system. It's not limited by age. It's a choice. Every single day. You don't have to be the smartest. You just have to be the most curious. You have to ask better questions. Challenge your own assumptions. Refuse to settle for surface-level understanding. Because here's the truth. A well-fed mind makes powerful decisions. A well-read soul becomes a wise leader. And a constantly learning heart, that's the key to lifelong elevation. So ask yourself today, what skill could change my future? What mindset could unlock my next level? What story am I telling myself that's based on ignorance instead of truth? Then go learn the truth. Learn the skill, learn the mindset, and make it a habit. Not once a month, every day. Even if it's just 10 minutes of reading, even if it's one idea, one insight, one reflection, that one drop of growth each day adds up, and over time it overflows into your conversations, your choices, your destiny. And remember, life is your classroom. Every experience, every interaction, every challenge is offering you a lesson. The question is, are you paying attention? When something doesn't work, don't just get frustrated. Get curious. When someone triggers you, don't just react. Learn about yourself. When you fail, don't collapse. Study the moment, because everything is trying to teach you something. Your only job is to listen. The more you grow, the more value you bring to your relationships, to your career, to your purpose, and most importantly, to yourself. So let this be your mantra for the next 3 days. I grow every day. I am always learning, always evolving. My mind is my greatest tool, and I keep it sharp. Because when you embrace learning, you never stay stuck. You keep climbing. You keep shifting. You keep transforming. And the world? It bends for those who are constantly becoming more than they were yesterday. Now that you're learning, now that you're evolving, there's one more truth you must fully embrace. Change is not the enemy. It's your invitation to rise. The ability to adapt is not a luxury. It's a necessity, because nothing stays the same. The world changes. Circumstances shift. People evolve. And those who resist change get left behind. But those who flow with it, they thrive. They bend, but don't break. They adjust, realign, and move forward, no matter what. Let me tell you something most people never hear. Change is not chaos. It's clarity in disguise. It's life asking, are you ready to grow? You see, comfort is where most dreams go to die. And when you cling too tightly to what was, you block what could be. Think of a sailor at sea. When the wind shifts, he doesn't curse the storm. He adjusts his sail. He works with the wind, not against it. That's adaptability. That's wisdom in motion. And that's your challenge for the next 3 days. Stop fearing change. Start working with it. Ask yourself, where in my life am I resisting what needs to evolve? Where am I holding on too tightly to a routine, a mindset, a story that no longer serves me? And what would happen if I let go? What would open up if I leaned into the shift instead of fighting it? The truth is, The most successful people you admire didn't get there by staying the same. They reinvented, they pivoted, they released what no longer fit to make room for what was next. Think about nature. Seasons change, trees lose their leaves, rivers carve new paths. Everything is constantly in motion. Why? Because growth demands it. And you too are a part of that natural rhythm. You were not made to stay static. You were built to evolve. So when disruption shows up, welcome it. When a door closes, look for the hallway it's pointing you toward. When life rearranges itself, don't panic. Pay attention. Because hidden inside that change might be your next level, your breakthrough, your clarity. It won't always feel comfortable. Growth rarely does. But what feels like loss today may be making room for something far greater tomorrow. Repeat this to yourself over the next 3 days. I am adaptable. I flow with change and use it to grow. I don't fear the unknown. I trust myself in it. Because this is where true power lives. In your ability to stay grounded when the ground beneath you shifts. In your ability to find stillness in the storm. In your willingness to become someone new when the old version no longer fits the dream you're chasing. Let go of the need to control every detail. Let go of the version of you that only moved when the plan was perfect. You don't need a guarantee. You need grit. You need flexibility, vision, courage, because when you become a master of change, you stop surviving it and start shaping it. You lead your life instead of being led by fear. You adapt, you expand, you elevate. That's how you win, not by holding tight to what once worked, but by becoming someone who can thrive in whatever comes next. So over the next 3 days, practice that flexibility in your mindset, in your habits, in your response to the unexpected. When something doesn't go your way, don't break. Pivot. When life throws you a curveball, don't freeze. Swing differently. And remember, the most beautiful, fulfilled, unstoppable version of you is not the one who avoids change. It's the one who dances with it. You've strengthened your voice. You've clarified your vision. You've taken bold steps and adapted through change. But here's the truth most people miss. You were never meant to do this alone. No great achievement in history, none, was accomplished in isolation. Behind every powerful story of success is a network of support, a circle of alignment, a foundation of trust. And if you want to go far, you need people who lift you, not limit you. Because your environment matters. The voices around you shape the voice inside you, and whether you rise or stay stuck depends heavily on who you allow to walk with you. So for the next 3 days, it's time to reflect. Not just on your goals, but on your connections. Ask yourself, who believes in me, even when I forget to believe in myself? Who challenges me to rise, not shrink? Who drains me, distracts me, or pulls me off course? These questions aren't easy, but they're necessary, because every relationship is either a weight or a wing. And when you surround yourself with people who see your light, who reflect your values, who push you higher, you begin to accelerate. Not just because you feel good, but because you feel supported. Think of Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men of his era. He openly credited his success to his mastermind group, a circle of trusted allies who challenged his thinking and strengthened his ideas. Or J.P. Morgan, who didn't build an empire alone, but through the power of alliances, trust, and shared vision. They understood something simple. You go faster when you go together. So here's your challenge for the next 3 days. Build, strengthen, and nurture relationships that matter. Not just for networking, not for personal gain, but for mutual growth, for shared elevation, for aligned expansion. Send a message to someone you admire. Thank someone who supported you. Offer encouragement to a friend pursuing their dream. Reach out to a mentor or become one for someone else. Because the fastest way to build strong connections is to add value first. Be the person who celebrates others genuinely, who listens deeply, who shows up with integrity, not agenda. And remember, real connection isn't built by being impressive. It's built by being honest, by being willing to be seen, to ask for help, to offer it freely. That's where the magic lives, in the space between strength and sincerity. And it's not just about professional allies, it's about emotional support, spiritual alignment, energetic harmony. The people in your life should reflect the future you're building, not the past you've outgrown. So choose wisely, speak openly, love deeply, and let your relationships become a multiplier, not a limiter of your growth. Because here's the truth. The right people in your life won't just make your journey easier, they'll make it richer. They'll remind you who you are when you forget. They'll hold you accountable to the highest version of yourself. And they'll walk with you, not out of obligation, but out of shared purpose. So for the next 3 days, invest in connection. Uplift someone, learn from someone, build with someone. Let your energy speak before your words do. And let those relationships become part of your foundation. Because when you rise together, you rise stronger. You've done what most never will. You've taken the time to reflect, to speak life into your inner voice, to define your vision, to take action, build resilience, pursue passion, learn, adapt, and connect. But there's one final truth that brings it all together. Mindset is the master key, not talent, not timing, not even opportunity. It's your mindset that determines how far you go, how much you grow, and how powerfully you rise. Because the greatest force you'll ever face isn't the world outside you, it's the world within you. And when your mind is aligned with strength, clarity, and possibility, the world has no choice but to respond. A powerful mindset doesn't mean you never feel doubt. It means doubt doesn't get to decide. It means you see obstacles, but you don't stop. It means you feel fear, but you don't retreat. It means you wake up each day with a quiet decision. No matter what happens, I move forward. For the next 3 days and every day after, this is your real challenge. Guard your mindset like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. Every goal, every relationship, every outcome in your life is filtered through your mindset. You see what you believe. You attract what you expect. You become what you repeat. So begin each morning by feeding your mind with strength, with gratitude, with vision. Start your day not scrolling, not reacting, but deciding. Deciding who you are, deciding what you believe, deciding how you'll show up. Let this be your new normal. I speak to myself with power. I respond to life with purpose. I lead my day. I don't follow it. And when challenges arise, as they always do, return to your center. Don't let your environment control your energy. Let your mindset shape your reality, because this is the difference between surviving and leading, between drifting and designing, between staying small and stepping fully into your potential. Your mindset is either your prison or your portal, and you get to choose. So choose to believe that everything is working for you. Choose to believe that you are growing even in the hard moments. Choose to believe that your vision is valid, because it is, and that your voice matters, because it does. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more shrinking to fit spaces you've outgrown. You've done the work. You've planted the seeds. Now walk like it, speak like it, live like it. You are no longer the same person who started this journey. You've redefined what's possible. You've shifted your identity. You've stepped into the role of a creator, a leader, a powerful force. So keep going. Keep expanding. Keep choosing the mindset that builds miracles, shapes futures, and ignites transformation. Because everything begins in the mind, and the mind that is trained to expect greatness will create it. This is your moment. This is your momentum, and this is your message to the world, spoken not with words, but with how you carry yourself from this day forward. So remember, you are the architect. You are the fire. You are the key. And from now on, you walk unlocked.